Dear students, okay, we'll continue with the same lesson, that is the nationalist movement in Indochina. Okay, now we'll do it religion and anti-colonialism, the Hua movement, what is modernization, and views of the two leaders. Okay, so firstly we'll do with the religion and anti-colonialism. Okay, so here we shall see how the religious groups in Vietnam, they played an important role in the development of anti-colonial feelings in Vietnam. Okay, so during this time, the Vietnamese, they followed Buddhism and Confucianism. So, and the Confucius, a Chinese thinker, he preached the Vietnamese about good conduct, proper social behavior, respect for parents, and how to obey the elders. So according to his philosophy, the rulers had to act like fathers towards their subjects, so and should treat as their own children. So in the course of time, the French missionaries on the other hand introduced Christianity, and they preach against the practices which have been followed by the Vietnamese, and they wanted to correct the Vietnamese belief in the supernatural. So the Catholic missionaries, by the middle of the 18th century, they converted at least 3 lakhs of people. So as a result, a scholars' revolt broke out, and then that was in the year 1868. 1868. A scholars' revolt broke out in the year 1868. Okay, so and that scholar revolt was led by the officials of the royal court. Over 1,000 of Catholics, they were killed in the provinces of Nguyen and Hà Tĩnh. But unfortunately, the French government, they were able to crush the revolt. But this uprising inspired the nationalists even after it was suppressed. And next here we shall also learn about the Hu Hao movement. Okay, so this movement, the Hu Hao movement, was started in 1939. 1939. Okay, so the Hu Hao movement was started in 1939, and it was founded by Huynh Phu So. Okay, once again I repeat, Hu Hao movement was founded by Huynh Phu So. Okay, so this Huynh Phu So, the leader of this revolt or the movement, he preached about he helped the poor, also performed the miracles, and he preached against gambling, drinking, and opium smoking, and sales of child brides. So as the movement was started, what the French did was that they tried to crush the revolt. And then they declared Huynh Phu So as insane, which means mad. And then he was sent to the asylum. Asylum here, it refers to hospital. He was sent to a mental hospital. So when he was sent to that mental hospital, even the doctor became the follower of Huynh Phu So. So in spite of being considering him as an insane or mad, that doctor became a follower of Huynh Phu So. So the French, they were compelled to release him from the asylum. That was in the year 1941. Huynh Phu So was released from the asylum in the year 1941. So, but he was exiled. That means he was sent away to the Laos. So many of his followers, they were also sent to the concentration camps. Okay, so what is concentration camps? So concentration camps is a place where a person is concentrated or imprisoned, where the people are kept as prisoners. So from here, what we understand is that the religion, they also played a major role in anti-colonial feelings in Vietnam. Okay, next here we have modernization. Okay, so modernization. So the people of Vietnam, now they had to decide how they could become modern. So they were confused that is it being modern means living traditions, their own culture and language, or does it really mean rejecting all of the previous ideas and social problems, or is it copying the West in every way? But some of the intellectuals of the Vietnam, they believe that to resist the dominations of West, Vietnamese traditions had to be strengthened. So the debate between the common people and the intellectuals, the Vietnamese intellectuals, could not be easily solved. Thus, the oppositions to French domination was provided by Confucius scholars, and the leader was Phan Bui Chau. Phan Bui Chau. Okay, so the leader was Phan Bui Chau. So Phan Bui Chau, in the year 1903, he formed a revolutionary society, and Prince Kuong. Okay, Prince Kuong was made as a head. In the year 1903, he formed a revolutionary society where Prince Kuong was made as a leader. Okay, so from 1905 to 1908, Phan Bui Chau, he lived in Japan. There in the Japan, he made the Japanese and the Chinese revolutionaries, and he was very much inspired by them. And again, in 1905, he met another Chinese reformer, that is Liang Guichao. He met another reformer, that is Liang Guichao, that is in Yokohama. Okay, so with his advice, Phan wrote his famous book, and that book name is The History of the Laws of Vietnam. So this book was about how the Vietnam, they lost their sovereignty, and how they cut their ties with China, who were earlier had a shared culture with them. So, okay, and in the year 1906, Phan Bui Chau, he made another great Vietnamese nationalist leader, that is Phan Chu Trinh. Phan Chu Trinh. Okay, so in the year 1906, he made another great leader, that is Phan Chu Trinh. So that is in Tokyo. So they discussed the matter for almost 2 weeks. But their ideas could not be reconciled. Why their ideas could not be reconciled? Because these two leaders, they have different views of opinions. Okay, so here we can see the views of two leaders, that is Phan Bui Chau and Phan Chu Trinh. Okay, so this Phan Bui Chau and Phan Chu Trinh, they have different views of opinions. Okay, so Phan Chu Trinh, who was a Vietnamese nationalist, he wanted to abolish monarchy. And create a strong national sovereignty. But whereas on the other hand, Phan Bui Chau, he still wanted to retain the monarchy. And see, this Phan Chu Trinh, he was very much inspired or influenced by the writings of French philosophers. The French philosophers like Rousseau and Montesquieu. We have studied the French Revolution in that class 9. So they were the two great philosophers of the French. So Phan Chu Trinh was very much influenced and inspired by the two philosophers. But whereas Phan Bui Chau, he wanted to drive out the French immediately. That is through armed resistance, and he wanted to immediately restore Vietnamese independence. So these are the different views of opinions between Phan Bui Chau and Phan Chu Trinh. Okay, so that is all for this topics. The remaining portion we'll do in the next video class. Thank you.